Richard Jaeckel may not have been a household name like John Wayne or Clint Eastwood, but for decades he was one of Hollywood's most respected and reliable character actors. Known for his tough, rugged presence and ability to bring depth to soldiers, cowboys, and working-class men, Jaeckel appeared in over 100 films and TV shows, including classics like The Dirty Dozen, Sands of Iwo Jima, and Starman. He worked alongside some of the biggest stars of his era, earning an Academy Award nomination and the admiration of directors who valued his professionalism and talent. On screen, he was often the loyal sidekick, the soldier who sacrificed, or the man who held everything together. But behind the camera, Jaeckel's life was far more fragile than the characters he portrayed. And the tragedy of Richard Jaeckel is even sadder than fans ever realized. Despite his long career and the respect he earned in Hollywood, Jaeckel's final years were marked not by glamour or security, but by heartbreak, financial ruin, and devastating illness. For a man who gave so much of his life to the industry, the way it all ended was almost unthinkable. By the 1980s, Jaeckel had carved out a steady place in television, appearing in shows like Baywatch, Dallas, and Hill Street Blues. He was admired as a dependable working actor, the kind of performer who could elevate any project. But Hollywood has a way of forgetting even its most loyal contributors, and Jaeckel never achieved the stardom or wealth that might have shielded him from the struggles to come. Despite decades of work, his financial situation grew precarious, and when illness struck, the safety net simply wasn't there. In 1994, Richard Jaeckel was diagnosed with melanoma, a devastating form of skin cancer. The disease quickly spread, and the actor who had played tough, unbreakable men on screen was now fighting a battle he could not win. As medical bills piled up, Jaeckel and his family were forced to declare bankruptcy. The man who had spent his entire life building a reputation in Hollywood was left penniless, depending on the kindness of friends and a community that scrambled to raise funds for his care. For fans who learned of his condition, it was shocking to realize that a man who had entertained millions for decades could be abandoned by the very industry he helped build. Worse still, the financial devastation weighed heavily on Jaeckel emotionally. Friends later recalled how heartbreaking it was to see a proud, hard-working man reduced to worrying about medical debt while fighting for his life. He had always been admired for his resilience, but in his final years, even that strength seemed to crumble under the weight of illness and poverty. Tragically, Richard Jaeckel passed away in 1997 at the age of 70. His death marked the end of a long and dedicated career, but also exposed the darker side of Hollywood, the way the industry often discards actors who aren't marquee stars. While Jaeckel's performances continue to be celebrated by film lovers, the story of his decline remains a sobering reminder of the harsh realities faced by countless performers who give everything to their craft but receive little security in return. What makes Jaeckel's tragedy even sadder is that, despite all his struggles, he never lost his love for acting. Friends and family said that even in his final years, he lit up when talking about the movies he made, the directors he admired, and the co-stars who had become lifelong friends. Acting was not just his career, it was his identity, his passion, and the legacy he left behind. The life and death of Richard Jaeckel reveal a truth that fans often forget. Behind the fame and the glamour, many actors live lives marked by insecurity, struggle, and heartbreak. His story is not only a tragedy, but also a testament to perseverance, professionalism, and the quiet dignity of a man who never stopped working, even when the rewards were fleeting. In the end, Richard Jaeckel's legacy is bittersweet. He gave audiences unforgettable performances, yet his life behind the scenes was filled with pain and disappointment. His tragedy is sadder than fans ever thought, but remembering his story ensures that the man behind the roles is never forgotten.